Hi there, welcome to Elm Colors. I'm Erica. On today's video, we're going to be working on our color along for October, which is in Cute and Creepy coloring book from Camilla de Erico. This book is so adorable and I love it so much, and I've only have one fully completed page in here, which is sad. It's very sad, but it's a 2-page. Well, so I'll, maybe it's 2 pages because it is a spread. So I might take credit for both of those, but yeah, this is the one that I finished. It's really cute. But today, I think we are going to do these cute little vampires. Yeah, not just today, but over the next couple of videos. I'm hoping this will not be quite as long as the last color along, but you never know. So I'm going to start with the background because that is the easiest place for me to start. So I have some colors picked out. I do need to put some backer pages in, and I'm going to be using Neocolors in the background, and actually for probably a lot of the characters as well. And then I'll go in and do some pencil work with probably Prismas is what I'll end up using. But even if you don't have Neocolors, you can also use watercolor pencils, straight watercolors, or, if you're feeling brave and want to do that whole background in pencil, you go for it. But so you could maybe use the colors that I use and do your own thing. But yeah, so I'm going to be using the Neocolors. So let me get that all set up and we will get started. All right, backer pages are all in, and now I'm just going to be using my Neocolors. So I have 3 colors. I have gray, I have violet, and I have ultramarine. And those 3 colors I'm going to layer. I'm going to go in first with the violet, then a little lighter layer with the ultramarine, and then a gray on top to kind of tone down the brightness of the other 2. So I'm going to speed color that because I probably won't show you the whole thing, but I'll show you. We'll do a little bit together first, and then I'll speed color some, and then when we come back, it'll be the magic of editing. It'll be all done, and you'll be able to see that. So, like I said, I'm going to start with the purple. I'm sorry, the violet, because there is another color called purple in these Neocolor 2s. I am avoiding the bats if I can. No worries if you don't. Because I think I'm just going to go over those with some, well, I'm not sure, either a black marker or, yeah, it might just be black marker. I will post the color palette that I am attempting to use on the screen here so you guys can see that. I didn't print it out ahead of time, but I have in my head kind of what I want to do. So, okay, so there's the purple. Now I'm pretty lightly going over with this ultramarine because I want it to be a little more of a blue purple, but not super, super blue. And this blue will just kind of help give that tone to the purple instead of it being a more red purple. But yeah, just a lighter pressure. And then I'm going to use the gray, and I'm going to push the medium pressure with that one because I want this to be toned down. I don't want it to be bright and vibrant. I want everything to be kind of muted and dull. Okay, get all that in there. One of the things I like the best about Camilla's books is the paper quality is so fun, and you can use water mediums on it, and while it might buckle a little bit, it flattens itself back out eventually, and it looks awesome. So yeah, so I'm going to use my Arteza water brush. This is the one with it's still a fine point, but it's a little bit thicker brush than the one that I have been using. And I'm just going to go through and activate all that. And just so you can kind of see what's going to happen. And as you go through, you want to make sure that you do have your cloth to clean off your brush every once in a while. But you can kind of see this is like a smoky purple kind of color. And you can always come back in and add another layer of purple. If you want it to be darker, you can add in more blue. You can add in more gray. You could come back in with a black. It just kind of depends on the look you're going for. And in this one, I was wanting just this nice smoky purple color. So yeah, so I'm just going to go through and activate this, and then I'm going to finish doing the rest of the page in this same background. Yeah, and you guys can see that I'm using small circular motions, trying to work relatively quickly. When I get to areas where the color overlaps, I clean off my brush and then go back in with a clean brush to try to get the rid of any lines, any harsh lines that might form. That's kind of the secret to working with these, is you can always come back in and blend it out. Yeah, and you can see that I'm being messy and going over the bats in the background, but like I said, we're going to go back over top with either black pencil or black marker. Ooh, I might even use like a black sparkly something. All the ideas are flowing now. But yeah, so you can kind of see what that's going to look like in the background, and I'm just going to go ahead and finish doing that, and I'm going to speed that up so you guys can see, and then I will talk to you again in a second when all of this is done. And here it is. Background's pretty much done. There are a couple of spots that I wanted to address, and I kind of wanted to do this on film. Well, not film. I keep saying film. It's no longer film. On camera for you guys, so that you can see kind of how I would fix anything that I didn't like. It's not necessarily mistakes, because with these Neocolors, they're supposed to have that not perfect look. They're supposed to be like watercolory and varied and all of that stuff. But there are some times where you get things that you don't necessarily think look great. So for example, in this area in here, see how it's a little bit darker? What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my cloth and my water brush, and I'm just going to wet that area, and sometimes you can dab away the color. With Neocolors, they are not like Inktense, so you can go back in and you can rework areas. So when you have big blobs of color that you don't like, you can move them around and lift things away. It's not going to be completely lifted away, but you can still rework things. So like in this area right here, I've got like this weird line of color, so I can just come in and use a circular motion to blend out that color a little bit better, so there's not those weird harsh lines. And there's just a few places around the page that I want to mess with. There's not that many. I was pretty happy with how this laid down. And I could always come back in with another another layer if I felt like I needed to really address the whole background. But typically with Neocolors, I just do the one layer. Unless, I don't put enough color down the first time or something. But yeah, so you can go through and add use your water to redistribute some of the color. There are a couple of spots right in here that I am going to add a little bit more color, because you can see the lines through. So first, I'm going to attempt to buff it out with my water brush, and that might work on a couple of them. But I'm also going to just take some color straight off of my crayon here and just work it right back into my page. And that'll help. It's not going to change the tone too much. This might make some of these areas a little more purpley, but that's, again, okay, because the background is supposed to be varied and fun and not perfect anyway. So, and if I need to, I can come back in with my gray then to tone that back down. Grab that gray and just kind of pounce that around in there. Now you do want to make sure that it's dry, the background is dry, before you go back in and start adding more water to everything, because you don't want to damage your paper. Now this paper is thankfully a little bit better and can handle quite a bit of water, but you don't want to go crazy with it because it will end up breaking down the fibers of the paper and bleeding through to the other side. So, all right, let me get this little area. Am I on camera? I hope so. So here you can see the big difference between, so this area here has all of the blue and gray added in it, and then this is just mainly just this purple color. So you can really see the difference in the tone that the blue and the gray add in. So then I'm just going to add in some of this blue right in there too. And then a little bit of the gray. And there we go. All right, let me take another look at everything really quick. And this is just a quick overview of things. But yeah, as you see stuff that you want to redistribute a little bit, just use your water brush, go in there, move things around a bit. Yeah, so that's about it. So the other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is that you can kind of see, especially on this side, because this is more dry than the other side is, the paper is starting to curl. So you can kind of, here, I'm going to turn it on its side so hopefully you can see. You can see the edge is starting to curl up. And the easiest way to fix that is I just kind of stretch out the paper and roll it back gently the other way. And I do that along the edges, and it will flatten itself back out. You're just having to re-stretch the paper back out. There you go. That's it. Okay, so next we are going to, I'm going to show you kind of what my plan is for the background. I have this black Crayola signature marker. It is just, it's got a kind of a brush tip kind of thing, but it's just a water-based marker. So any water-based marker will do. And I'm just going to do all of the bats black. I'm not going to do anything fancy to them yet. At the end of, before we finish all of our whole page, our whole layout, then I will probably go back in and add some stuff. But for now, I'm just going to color all of these bats, and I'm going to try to keep the eyes clear so that I can add in fun stuff to that. But each bat is just going to get this nice little layer of black, and you can always go in with pencil to do that as well if you feel the need. But I just wanted to, I'm just going to go through and do it in black marker. So yeah, let me get this guy in here so you can kind of see. And I'm making sure to leave the eyes open. You don't want to use an alcohol marker unless you don't mind sacrificing the back side of the page, but you want to make sure that you use a water-based marker because that should not bleed through to your other side. As long as you don't go over the same spot multiple times, you're good to go. Okay, so that's what the bats are going to look like. And that's going to be all through the whole thing. And that'll be homework that I'll do before the next video. I don't want you guys to have to sit through that either. But yeah, so let's start working on the characters. And this is all going to be the Neocolor work that I want to do with them. And then we will go into detail with like pencils and things like that. So for her, I've decided that I want her hair to be like a dark red. And I'm going to attempt to do this. I don't know how this is going to work. We are going to play though. And hopefully this will work out. So I have Scarlet, Carmine, Lilac. Is that what I want? No, I want the purple violet and the black and possibly the gray. I might do the gray. Well, we'll have to see how this is going to go. But I'm gonna play with these colors and hopefully something will work. But I'm gonna do her hair first, and I'm just gonna I kind of want it to all be the same shade, but maybe a little bit darker at the ends and a little bit darker up at the top. So yeah, so I think I'm just gonna go through first with this Scarlet Red. I'm gonna leave a highlight. Well, I probably should have left the highlight right about there. I can go back in with a white Prisma and add the highlight back in later on. So yeah, so I'm just gonna add in this red color pretty much everywhere. Okay, I do know I want a highlight there, so I'm gonna leave that there. So I definitely want the highlight there. And then probably through the center here. So I'm gonna leave that area open as well. Okay, and then we're gonna do a highlight through that area. And then down here will be darker. So we can color that all in. That's just gonna be the same shade. This guy up here is gonna be like that. And then there will probably be another little highlight right through here. Yeah, that looks good to me. Okay, so I have that red color all the way through. I'm going to use the Carmine in the areas that I want it to be darker. And this is all just playing right now, so hopefully, hopefully this works. But yeah, you wanna, there we go. Okay, and I'm gonna do this section up here. I probably will have a highlight go through there as well. So I'm gonna leave that red part open. There we go. Now again, you don't have to be perfectly neat with this. You just want to make sure that you are trying to avoid the skin as much as possible. But as you're coloring on the hair, it does not have to be perfect. So this is the purple violet. And here I'm pushing a little bit harder and adding it towards the ends of the hair. I think we'll probably stop with this color and then see where we're at, because I don't want it to be, I don't want to add that dark, those dark like black color and stuff in there unless I really want it in there. Okay. I might go in and add that like gray and black with pencils later on. Okay. All of that can be done. Okay. And then, yeah, I'm going to add in the gray. Just a light layer of gray along the top. I just want it to be a little more muted. I don't want it to be bright and vibrant. So hopefully that didn't just ruin it. Okay, so I'm going to use, again, my Arteza water brush, and this is the one with the thicker end. And I'm going to start in the light area and work into the dark. Okay, again, start in the light area and work into the dark. And this marker, or this water brush, is super juicy. Okay. All right. And again, here we're going to work in the light and go into the dark area. Yeah, and then this is just getting a bunch of color down, and then I can go back in with my Prismacolors later on and add in the details that I want. But for now, this is just giving me a nice layer of color. And then anywhere where there's a harsh line, I'm trying to clean off my brush a little bit, and then I go through and blend it back out a little as best I can. Okay, and here again, we're going to start in the lighter areas and work towards the dark. Being careful around her ear. And trying to get a nice smooth blend, as smooth as possible. Yeah, so this color is definitely going to have, this is going to take 2 layers for me, because it's nowhere near as dark as I want it to be. So we will be doing 2 layers of the hair. Let me get this part back here. The gray did a pretty good job of muting it though. Like it's not super vibrant anymore. It's still pretty bright, but not annoyingly so. If that makes sense. Okay, I do have to turn my book. Make sure that you guys can see. Yeah, and then we're going to go into this section. I'm just going from light to dark, making sure that color gets pushed in the right direction. Okay. And then I want to blend that out a little bit so that it doesn't have that weird harsh line. Okay, then we're going to be turning the book all over the place on this one. So sorry, guys. Here we go. All right, now I'm going to go this way. I'm going to push that color up into the roots of her hair. Now, I'm a little confused as to what's going on here. I thought it was a part, but I don't think that they would part it quite that high. They might. I don't know. That might be another one for waiting until we get the pencils out, because then if I want to add in some strands hanging down, that'd be a good time to do that then. All right, turning the book again. All right, and this should be the last turn. I should be able to maneuver well enough to get the color to go where I want it to go. All right, let me get this little area back here done. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll work. I do want it to be a little bit darker, but we're gonna have to let that dry. So while she is drying, while her hair is drying, let's work on his hair. And his hair, I know I want it to be a dark, dark purple. But I also know that I don't want it to be the same as the background. So we're going to add in a couple of different colors. I am going to use that same violet color that we used earlier, but I'm also going to add in some indigo blue and some black. And I think that that's going to give me a nice dark color for his hair. So again, I'm going to try to reserve a highlight area. And for these chibi characters, however you say it, they typically have a nice highlight like right around where their head would curve. So I'm going to keep this area right in here kind of reserved for the highlight as best I can. So I'm going to go in with my purple first. Okay. And actually with her shading, you can kind of see right in here, she's left that little area open. So, okay, so there is the purple. I'm going to add the blue. Well, what is this one? This one is Prussian blue. Right over top. I'm going to leave a little bit of the purple at the edges showing, but not much, because I want this to be pretty dark. And then we're going to do black. And this is not going to cover the whole thing. This is just going to cover the farthest edges. Looks pretty cool just like that. But we're going to activate it and hopefully the black will work and not muddy. Okay, so let's get my water brush ready to go. Okay, again, this is going to be a lot of page turning, but I'm going to start with areas that I know that I can do without turning the page. So we're going to start here, starting in the white and working upwards towards the roots on this part. I'm going to clean my brush off in between very well so that I don't drag that color back out. The other thing, you can tell that this water brush is super wet. I'm trying to let it, I'm going to have to grab a dry brush and soak up some of that water because it is really wet. Okay. Yeah, I don't know about that one. That one might be another one where we have to add the color back in with the pencil. So again, I'm just going around with the light color, going into the dark, getting into this black. Trying to keep it out of the... The nice thing is you can pick up this color and kind of pounce it back into what you just had been working on, and you can move the color around like that. Yeah, definitely going to have to do the a little bit more purple. I don't mind that. I'm going to have to add in more black and a little bit probably more purple because it's very blue. But yeah, okay, this is working. This is working. So I'm just going to finish his hair and I'll speed that up for you guys so you can see. Okay, I am going to add in that color back into her hair right there because I can't stand the way that that looks right now. She's just going to have a chunk there of hair because otherwise it looks cuckoo crazy. And that purple. Just do those three and see if that works. Oops. Start in the light, Erica. Follow your own instructions. Okay. All right. Okay, I like their hair. That's really cute. I did get quite a bit of red on her ear, so let me see if I can get rid of some of that. So I'm going to wet that pretty good and dab it away. And it's not working great, but it's not terrible. So hopefully that'll come back out. Okay, next let's do capes because these are large capes and I don't want to sit there and color every little bit of them. So her cape is going to be black, I think. Yeah, we're going to do black. Okay, so black cape. So I'm just going to color with my black and then I will activate that, but I'm going to speed that up so you guys can see. Okay, so I did hit this with a little bit of a heat tool just to speed up some of the drying process. My hair over here was still a little bit wet. But on this side, I want the outside of his cape to be black, but I want the inside to be red. So I'm gonna have this black very carefully around there. That, and then this outside edge. Probably should have done that in pencil, but now it is done with the Neocolors, and I can always go back through and darken it up if I need to. But I'm using my thinner Arteza brush to do this part. And I'm going to try to avoid getting any of the water near the areas that I want to be red, because I want to be able to do this all in one go and not have to worry about drying stuff again in between times. All right, here's where it's going to get tricky. Oh, I need all of that down there to be black. Yep. Because this would be the outside of the coat, and then, or the cape, and then this is the inside here. And then the inside of the cape down here. Okay, which I do want to be red. And again, I think it's going to be a mix of these reds that I used a little bit on her hair. So I'm going to use the Scarlet red and the Carmine. Maybe a little bit of this purple. We'll see. But so for the cape down here, you can see that she's already got some shadowing right underneath the character. So the parts up along the inside of his legs and stuff are going to be really dark. I'm just going to take this color and do it over the whole thing. And then I'm going to use the darker Carmine. I'm pushing a little harder extending that out into that Scarlet, and then I am going to use some of that purple. What is this? What did I say this was? Purple Violet. Just right under the edge. Yeah. All right, I'm going to see how that looks, and then we'll go up and we'll do the neck part. But I'm going to speed this up while I activate it. All right, I'm going to do the top part up here now. Trying to pay attention to, again, I think I'm going to have the outside edge be lighter, and then around his head is going to be that darker tone. I'm just going to do the whole thing with this Scarlet first. You will have to be a little careful down in the corner here where his hair overlapped, because I did bring some of that color into the bottom parts of his hair, but hopefully it won't mix too much. Okay, and I'm pressing a little harder with the Carmine, especially around his head, and then lightening up the pressure as I move away from his head. Okay, and then with the Purple Violet, just a nice solid layer right around his hair, and then down into this collar area. Okay. All right, and so I'm just going to activate that, and I will speed that up as well for you guys. Okay, so I think our guys are turning out really cute so far. I do want to show you that I am going to add another layer to the black. I'm going to do that sped up really quick, but I just wanted to let you know that I was going to do that, and then I'll show you a little bit, and then I'll probably just cut to being done so you don't have to watch me go through all of that again. But just because the darkest colors tend to be the hardest to work with. To get a nice flat color. So I'll typically do 2 layers when I'm using really dark colors. So I'm going to go ahead and just add some more black to her cape and speed some of that up, and then I'll cut to it being done. Okay, so there's her cloak darker. I think I am going to hold off and do pencil work on the hair here. I might just go ahead and add in the purple right on top of this. So this is the violet, and I'm just adding it right on top of what we did already. And then I'll probably end up adding pencil work into that as well. But I think we're going to save the pencil work for next time. So we've got all of our Neocolor stuff kind of done. Yeah, that makes it a little bit more purple. Yeah, sorry, I was getting a little sidetracked here. I think I was supposed to be telling you about what we're going to do next time. Yeah, so next time we'll be working on all of the colored pencil work. Maybe not all of it, but a lot of it. I'm hoping it might be 3 parts, because we could do, you know, all the background and the Neocolors in this part, and then pencil work on this side and pencil work on this side. I think that probably would work. All right, that's a little bit better. That's more like the tone that I was wanting. Less blue, more purple. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna, my homework and your homework is just gonna be to fill in all of the bats in the background with a water-based marker or pencil, or however you choose to do it. And then, yeah, when we come back, we'll work on, we'll probably work on this little gal over here, and then the last video will be working on with pencils on him. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope that you are coloring along with me, and if you are, I would love to see it. Please make sure to tag me on Instagram or send me a picture in my email. It is elmcolors@gmail.com. I will talk to you guys again soon. Thanks so much for watching today. Until next time, see you later. Bye.